And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Olive, Nina, and Esme. Olive, Nina, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes," said Olive, Nina, and Esme. One day, the king of Onlyville's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Onlyville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Singling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Olive said, he's going to marry me. Nina said, no way, Olive. He's going to marry me. Esme said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what is wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I wanted her to go to the ball and marry Prince Singling, but I'm not welcome. The fairy godmother waved her wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! And then, Cinderella's chores are all done. But the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has one pumpkin. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! Again, and to turn Cinderella's do-rag and clothes into a gown. I've never seen such a wonderful gown. I get a load of my glass slippers, and then the pumpkin into a carriage drawn by 2 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Singling was wondering who he should marry. Olive, Nina, and Esme said all together, he's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Singling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Singling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Onlyville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where her Cinderella and her stepsisters lived. He said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper? Olive is first, but her foot is too big. Nina is next, but her foot is too small. Esme is last, but her foot didn't fit either. Suddenly, Prince Singling noticed Cinderella singing. Cinderella said, Prince Singling, is that you? Prince Singling said, of course it's me. Cinderella gets so excited because she's having to have her Prince Singling back. And they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story before bed enters doors. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my video. Take care. Bye and good night, everybody. And now, Andrew Knows Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 4 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella. Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella all together. One day, the king of Nottingham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Nottingham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Nottingham. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Nina. Isabella said, No way, Nina, he's going to marry me. Natalia said, Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Ella said, All 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Nottingham while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, Cinderella? Cinderella responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Nottingham, but I have lots of chores to be done. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, Cinderella has 9 pumpkins and 18 mice. Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to tell her the 9 pumpkins into a hands-on coach, the 18 mice into horses, and Cinderella's rich clothes into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a non-fantastic gown, and get a load of my glass slippers. How can I ever thank you enough? Cinderella's fairy godmother said, Well, you can't. But have fun, Cinderella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Nottingham was wondering who he should marry. He's walking towards me, said Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella all together, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. May I have this dance? Asked Prince Nottingham. Cinderella responds, I would be delighted. Cinderella and Prince Nottingham dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Nottingham was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Nottingham to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrived in knocks on the door of the home where Cinderella, Nina, Isabella, and Natalia and Ella lived. But instead of Cinderella, he finds Nina, Isabella, Natalia, and Ella. Prince Monopoly then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Nina is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. Natalie and Ella did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Monopoly noticed Cinderella's sweet singing. The glass slipper fits! Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Monopoly back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, I hope you enjoyed this story. And if you want to see some sequels to Cinderella, something like that, etc., tell your friends about it. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise too on AndrewDoesEverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 11erella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named 11erella. 11erella had 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina. All 6 of them made fun of 11erella and made her do all the chores. 11er wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, clean out the pantry, do it all, said Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina, all together. One day, the king of 11ville's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, the king of 11ville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Unacupling." But 11erella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. "He's going to marry me," said Ella. "No way, Ella, you're wrong. He's going to marry me," said Lola. "Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me," said Asha. Vada said, "All 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me," said Elsa. "All 4 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me," Nina, the youngest stepsister, said. "All 5 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me." Later, 11erella is so sad about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Unacupling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks her 11erella what's wrong by saying, There, 11erella. "Why are you crying, my dear?" In which 11erella responds, I have lots of chores to do, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Unacupling." 11erella's fairy godmother can make her wish come true by saying, "I can help with a bit of magic. Nobody will know it's you." And so she waves her magic wand to clean up all the chores for 11erella. But she's not done yet. She said, "11erella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice." Luckily, 11erella has 11 pumpkins and 22 mice. 11erella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 11 pumpkins into a handsome coach, 22 mice into horses, and then 11er's ripped clothes into a gown and crown. 11erella said, "I've never seen such a double wonderful gown." "You get a load of my glass slippers," and climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, "Have fun, 11erella, my dear, but I will warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. It gives her a clock to tell her what time it is, and so Elevenera accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Elevenville says, "Good evening, all. My son, Prince Unakopling, was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son?" In which Prince Unakopling responds, "Yes, father." Suddenly, Elevenera arrives at the ball just in time. Ella, Lola, Ashavada, Elsa, and Nina say, "He's walking towards me altogether," but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Elevenera. "May I have this dance?" Prince Unacunning then asks, to which Elevenera responds, "I would be delighted." Prince Unacunning and Elevenera dance happily together. But later, as Elevenera checks her clock, and it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Unacunning was so worried and sad that he might never see Elevenera again. The king of Elevenville comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find Elevenera, my dear daughter-in-law." And so, the king of Elevenville and Prince Unacunning began their journey all around the neighborhood to try to find Elevenera, and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where Elevenera, Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, and Elsa and Nina all together live. But instead of Elevenera, they find Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina. Prince Unacunning then says, "Ladies, my father, the king of Elevenville, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Ella is first, but her foot is too big. Lola is next, but her foot is too small. "Nonsense! It fits!" she said. Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size either. Suddenly, the king of Elevenville and Prince Unacunning then noticed Elevenera's sweet singing. She heard excitedly, overjoyed, "Prince Unacunning and your majesty, is that you guys?" The king of Unacunning says, "My dear daughter-in-law, we found you. Will you marry Prince Unacunning?" To which Elevenera hollered more overjoyed, "Yes!" And so, Elevenera, the king of Unacunning and Prince Unacunning lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, interest viewers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and does everything. And I've been debating on making the sequels a bit of tradition. So if you want to see maybe someday, or 1102, 11 wishes come true, something like that. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and does everything, and buy our merchandise at interneteverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew's Doers, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 19erella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named 19erella. 19erella had 8 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Nina, Isabella, Nellie, Ellie, Tilly, Emmy, Evie, and Natalie. Nina, Isabella, Nellie, Ellie, Tilly, Emmy, Evie, and Natalie. They made 19erella do all the chores. 19er winch. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all. Said Nina, Isabella, Nellie, Ellie, Tilly, Emmy, Evie, and Natalie all together. One day, the king of Non-Cuppingham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Non-Cuplingham is going to Frolic Ball. and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Non-Coupling. But Knight Cinderella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. They argue who will marry Prince Non-Coupling. Later, Knight Cinderella is so sad to ensure that she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Non-Coupling. While her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Knight Cinderella?" Knight Cinderella, in which responds, "I got lots of chores to be done, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Non-Coupling." But her fairy godmother says, "I can help with a bit of magic," and waves her magic wand. And because of that, Knight Cinderella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Knight Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Knight Cinderella has 19 pumpkins and some 38 mice. Knight Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to transform the 19 pumpkins into a handsome coach and the 38 mice into strong horses. Then Knight Cinderella's ripped clothes into a gown and crown. Knight Cinderella said, "I've never seen such a non-couple-tastic gown. Get a load of my glass slippers." Her fairy godmother said, have fun, Knight Cinderella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. Knight Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Non-Coupling was wondering who he should marry. Nina, Isabella, Nellie, Ellie, Tilly, Emmy, Evie, and Nellie said all together, "He's walking towards me!" But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Knight Cinderella. Knight Cinderella and Prince Non-Coupling dance happily together. But later, Knight Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Non-Coupling was really worried that he might never see Knight Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Non-Coupling to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrived, he knocked on the door of the home where Knight Cinderella and her 8 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of Knight Cinderella, he finds her 8 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, Nina to Natalie. He then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Nina is first. But her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Non-Coupling noticed Knight Cinderella singing. The glass slipper fits! And Knight Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Non-Coupling back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. And I've been admitting I'm making some sequels, Andrew's Doers, of Knight Cinderella. And so, if you want to see some sequels to Knight Cinderella, tell your friends about it. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Interdoes Everything. And buy our merchandise at interdoeseverything.com, etc. And take care, Andrew's Doers. Bye.